I recently made a video ranking every villager in Minecraft. That video did okay, I guess. One comment on that video asked me to rank all of the villager houses from every biome. This is a huge task, one that would take hours of meticulously placing, rating, and writing to come to fruition. Only a madman would be willing to undertake such an arduous and painstaking endeavor. So anyway, this is every single villager house that can possibly generate in Minecraft. I don't even want to tell you how long this took to all place. They're all labeled. For example, this is the armorer's houses, this is the desert house, the plains house, the acacia house, the taiga house, and the snowy house. Now there's 13 types of villagers that get a house. Furthermore, some large houses generate, and they look pretty cool, I guess. These are the bread and potatoes of all the villager houses. These are the small houses. The 14 types of specific houses are Armory, Butcher, Cartographer, Fisher, Fletcher, Library, Mason, Shepherd, Tanner, Temple, Toolsmith, and Weaponsmith. Each house in the village will be ranked on a scale of 1 to 5. First place gets 5 points, and last place gets 1 point. The scoring will be a little bit different for the small houses, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's just get into it. The worst armory house is the acacia. It's very simplistic, it's very small, and it doesn't really do anything for me. Therefore, 1 point. Number 4 is the desert. It's very small, although it's slightly larger, and it has these nice windows. However, it just doesn't really get any points for the chimney. That looks stupid. And overall, I'm just not a fan. 3 points goes to the plains. Good interior design, actually. I love this counter space, and I love this chimney. Seriously, looking at it from the outside, like, you can clearly tell what that's meant to be. And overall, it's just a good house. Unfortunately, it gets outcompeted by the snowy. Now, snowy houses have a theme of a diorite being used, and it just looks really good. I like it a lot. This one also comes with a chest. That's pretty good loot. Furthermore, and we'll see more of this later, some houses generate with 2 variants. Variant number 1 of the armorer house is also pretty simple, but again, it does the job. So this one, deservedly so, gets 2nd place. And that, of course, narrows it down to 1st place being the taiga. The interior is just a slightly worse plains village, but the variant really does a good job. It's a very unique and aesthetically pleasing design, so I think taiga wins this one. Moving on to the butcher's houses, in 5th place, we've got the desert. Now this is a pretty tough crowd. I actually quite like this house. It's just small, and this pen really isn't too big. Unfortunately, this one just gets beat out by the snowy. Slightly better interior, and it's got this part, which again is just not big enough. However, its variant is an igloo, and this is the only professional villager house that's an igloo, which I think is pretty neat, so therefore, 4th place. 3rd place, acacia. I really like this checkered pattern floor design, and the pen is pretty nice. Moving on to the 2nd one, it's nothing special. However, the stilt design does give it a nice flow, so 3rd place. 2nd place is the taiga. I really get into this chimney design. It's just great. I don't know. I just kind of like it. It's cozy. Easily taking the 1st place, we've got the plains. This design is one of my favorites in the game. Great countertop, a great furnace, and you can even eat. Flying over to this house, I mean, it's 2 stories. What else do you need? The interior's great. I don't quite like how it's 2 stories as much as I used to, but it still works fine. And this pen's quite nice. So, plains gets the 1st place. Moving on to my personal least favorite house designs, we've got the Cartographer, and in 5th place, it's the plains. This design is very simple, and the interior is nothing special. The chest is also pretty bad. 4th place is the desert. I do kind of like this exterior design, however, the interior just really does not work well, and there's a giant hole in the back. 3rd place, I actually lived in one of these for my last hardcore series. It's the snowy. The interior is quite dull and boring. It's great for taking over if you want to live here, but it's not great for actually working here. So 3rd place. 2nd place, bit of a controversial choice. The acacia one's really nice. I don't know, I just think it's kind of nice. It's got a chest, terrible loot as usual, but this interior just kind of looks cool. And in 1st place, the least deserving victor, it's the taiga. Looking at it from the front, it looks fine. However, this cobblestone design does not blend well at all on the side. However, it does get a point because going upstairs, this is very cozy. And overall, I'm okay with it taking 1st. Moving on, we got the Fisher. 5th place is the plains. Every single one I generate spawns like this. This was a problem in my last video, and it's a problem now. Going inside, fishing indoors is kind of stupid, and the back is it's just not that good. 4th place, Slightly beating out the plains, we've got the acacia. Pretty cool that you can walk up to it. However, the shack is just so bad. Like the actual villager workstation's down here, and it's just not that good, guys. Third place, the taiga. I do like this walkway design, and it's got a slightly better interior than the plains, including a nice window. Second place, this one's actually quite nice. It's the snowy. The exterior is okay, and the interior is also kind of nice. It's kind of like an ice fishing shack, which great choice, Mojang. And first place, this one's quite obvious. It's the desert. This little fishing spot design is actually so nice. It clearly has thought put into it. It's got little potted plants, and the interior is pretty nice as well. On to the next one, we've got the Fletchers. Fifth place, kind of sad. We got the snowy. It's just very basic, and why is there a table in here? Fourth place, we got the plains. This one's grown on me a little bit since I ranked it dead last in my previous villager ranking video. It really has not grown enough for me to actually like it. Third place, taiga. Again, I like this potted plant design, but the interior just doesn't do much, and this chest is just horrible. This loot's unedited, by the way. In second place, and really kicking the bar up high, we've got the acacia. This is a really good design. I love the banners, and you know, the interior is clearly a Fletcher. It's got great tabletop space, and there's 2 chairs instead of 1, really double downing on the chair design. Also, the yellow really adds quite a pop to a village, so I quite like it. And in first place, the desert. This tower design is actually just fantastic. I'm such a huge fan. However, climbing up it, it's a little disappointing. However, the interior does itself a lot of favors. Potted cactus in both windows and the table right there. Moving on, we've got the library. In a very distant place, we have the desert. What are we doing here, Mojang? This just doesn't cut it, you know, it's not as good as the rest. In fourth place, we've got the acacia. It's much better than the desert. However, this interior still just doesn't quite do it. Definitely a huge improvement though. It's just, again, it's too small. Third place, we've got the taiga. This one's quite grandiose. However, the interior is just so cobblestoney. It has a second floor, which is quite nice, but again, this cobblestone is just overwhelming. In second place, it's the snowy. This exterior looks pretty normal. However, the interior is, whoa. Seriously, this thing is like actually one of the best builds. I love the idea of like needing to get a ladder to reach some of those top books. They must be pretty ancient. And in the easiest choice of this video, first place is the plains. The interior of building 1 is, oh my god, this is so good, and it's got a balcony. I mean, what else could you even need at this point? And the second library also does a lot of favors for itself. Fantastic interior. This is just the best. And going upstairs, another balcony. On to a much harder build to rank. We've got the mason. I gave 5th place to the taiga. It's just pretty simple, and the interior is just not that good. And a very close 4th place, the acacia. This yellow just really does not look good. This is not a beekeeper house. This is a mason. What are we doing here? The interior is pretty nice though, and it has a chest, so I put it slightly above the taiga for that one. 3rd place is the desert. Very nice awning design, actually. That gave it a lot of points. However, this interior just really doesn't do good. 2nd place, easy choice, plains. I mean, good build. That's about it. And first place, of course, the snowy. Building 1 is just bigger, better, and it's got carpet. What else could you possibly need? And building 2 is my favorite. It's got this little jut out design, and the inside continues the nice diorite, and it honestly just looks really good. On to the shepherd. 5th place for the shepherd, we've got the acacia. This is just a normal house with a huge pen. The pen's nice, but it's not a pen rating video. It's a house rating video. 4th place, the taiga. These double doors design just, I mean, it looks unique, and that is not a compliment. Inside though, it's got a carpet, it's got 2 looms, and it's got the pen in the back, so it's okay. 3rd place, the plains. Now my question is, did this copy the Fletcher? Or did the Fletcher copy this? 2nd place, the desert. This one does not have a boundary between the house and the pen, which I think is the best choice because this guy works with animals. He's out and about. 1st place, the snowy. I love this design. It has a chest. It's the only house to have one. And this pen with the wraparound design is actually my favorite pen in the game. So nice job, Mojang. You guys get a pass on this one. Next up, we got the Tannery. In 5th place, we have the desert. Look how many doors are on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is too many doors. And the inside is no better. This is not good. You can fall off your own balcony. No. 4th place, I may have underrated this one a little bit. It's the acacia. You know, looking at it again, I actually kind of like this banner design. Oh, I see why I gave this. Never mind, guys. Chest is so mid. In what world are you wearing 2 pairs of leather pants? 3rd place, of course, it's the plains. I like this cauldron, like, awning design. Very nice. And the interior's okay. Better chest sloot. And yeah, it's fine. 2nd place, of course, the taiga. A little lopsided inside. It's fine. Moving on. And in first place, I'm sure you guessed it, it's the Snowy. I'm not sure Mojang actually knows what a tanner does. Why does he have a furnace? His job is to sit in a sauna bed all day long. Moving on to my favorite category, it's the temples. In fifth place, not deservingly so, we have the Snowy. It has this beautiful bell tower design. I gave it fifth place, it doesn't have a bell. Like, that was an oversight. The interior is also kind of bland. I mean, no windows is a little sad, but again, like, this is a great house. It's sad I had to put it this low. In fourth place, it's the Acacia. I absolutely adore this pillar design. It is probably one of my favorite houses in the game. However, the interior just is too small, unfortunately, and its second design actually shoots it in the foot. Again, it's too small and it's lacking the little pillars, so this is getting fourth. In third place, we have the Taiga. It's cobblestone menace, but it's a menace as well. Like, it's huge. Like, this is impressive. If Mojang used stone bricks instead of cobblestone on the Taiga houses, they would win first place every single time. Like, this is a nerf, I swear. The interior is also quite nice. You can see its temple. And that's enough said. One of the hardest choices of the video. In second place, I have plains. This one is a tad small. I love the roof design, but again, it's just small. If they had just turned the seats 90 degrees, this probably would have won. Why do they face each other? Moving over to the second temple design, I think it's a little overrated personally. I can see why people like it, and it's not bad. Mojang wasn't so reluctant to use stone bricks. This would be second place. And my two favorite builds in the game are the two desert temples. This first one certainly looks the part. I mean, this is a small fortress, and inside, it just continues. It's so good. It even has a chest. Look at that loot. It's great. Only small ding on it. There's no loot under this, which, yeah. There should be. And the second temple, again, you need to fly up for these. These are just massive. I mean, look at these. This is insane. Mojang, this is fantastic. On to the next one. Second to last one, we have the Toolsmith. And in fifth place, the Taiga. It has a kind of nice exterior design, but it has two doors, which is a pet peeve of mine, and I can't deal with it, so fifth place. Fourth place, very bizarrely shaped, the Snowy. It juts off to the side here, and you'll see in a minute, that is not a good design choice. Third place, the plains. Pretty simple design. It's fine. Moving on. Second place, the Acacia. I quite like this. The three doors are just kind of funny, and I think the banners they just add a lot. And in first place, very uniquely designed, it's the desert. Kind of have to fly up a little bit for this one. And the top floor, it's a weaponsmith. And on the bottom floor, there's actually a secret room. These buttons don't do anything. I tried all of them. It's still cool though, I swear. And on to the last professional villager house design, the Weaponsmith. Fifth place is easily the Acacia, because the fact that one of these generates without a chest is a scam. Sure, iteration number 2 spawns with one, and this design is pretty cool, but again, the fact that no chest can spawn in one of them at all, he is scamming you. Next door, fourth place, the Taiga. Like, it's an okay design. It has a chest. My issue with it comes with design number 2, because again, no chest, and I think the armorer one just looks way better. Yeah, I mean, look how much better this is. Like, it's night and day. This is so nice. It's a campfire, giant chimney, and then like this one, like, what are we doing? How did it fall off this hard, guys? This is just embarrassing. Third place, the Snowy. Kind of a weird design to like have it wrap around like that, and it's quite a bit smaller than the competitors, so yeah. Third place. Second place, the desert. I mean, yeah, it's clearly a weaponsmith. It has good chest loot. It just can't beat the number 1 spot, and that of course is the plains. I mean, look at it. That is terrible chest loot. Oh my god. But it's normally really good. It has lava. It's a nice design. Like, what else needs to be said? It's just the best. All right, moving on to the big houses. These are, of course, pretty big, and they will be rated the same. So moving into the number 5 spot, this is not a big house. This is 2 beds and a 1-bedroom house. This is like LA. Fourth place is the Snowy, because this is just an igloo with 2 beds. Only reason to beat the desert is because it's an igloo. I'm a sucker for those. Third place, we have the Acacia. Now this house is this is not a big house. This is 2 smaller houses, Siamese together. Looks fine, so it's in third place, but it's not my favorite. In second place, and one of my big inspirations for this video, the Taiga. It looks so stupid. Like, what were they thinking? This thing looks so bad. I mean, like, in a good way, it looks bad, but it looks so bad. And of course, moving on, this house solo's easy. It's the plains. I mean, it's a classic design with a twist, and the twist is that it looks really good. I don't really know what they were going for. There's a lot of, like, I don't know, tables, but I mean, it looks good. So, yeah. Moving on to big house number 2, we start out with the taiga. I know you're thinking, inedible. This looks pretty good. Double doors. Moving on to number 4, we have the plains. I mean, like, what happened between that one and this one? This one is so much worse. Why did this, how did this happen? Fall off of the century, my god. Third place, the acacia. Again, it's just 2 houses that are just kind of Siamese together. It's actually quite sad that we never get to see any like big acacia houses. I think that actually really detracts from the village itself. In second place, we've got the snowy. It's a nice like log cabin design. It's kind of nostalgic, got a red bed. And I don't know, the upstairs, it's got a furnace, everything a man could need. So yeah, deserved second place. And in first place, coming back from the grave, comeback of the century actually, it's the desert. This thing is like that one 3P shooter from Plants vs. Zombies. Starting with the middle house, it's a house. And moving on to the bottom house, you have a little bed down here and a little balcony area. I'm sure you're thinking, this is kind of small and it looks stupid. However, it has buttons. Moving on, only 3 houses actually have a third big house category. I'll just rate these 3 points, 2 points, and 1 points respectively. And the one that only gets 1 point is the plains. This is, I think, the most common house that generates in plains, and it really is not good. 4 beds, 1 chest. Is this like a frat house? I don't know. It's not good. I don't like it. Second place, we have this nice snowy igloo. Yeah, there's not enough room between these 2 beds. They're getting freaky in there for sure. Moving on. In first place, and one of the only double houses I think is done right, it's this taiga. Oh my god, I can't talk. I mean, it's clearly 2 houses. You've got a house over here, and you've got a house over here. They have books. They can eat together if they want, or they can eat separately. I guess that's a nightstand, never mind. But yeah, it just feels lived in, and I quite like it. So this one deserves the number 1 spot. And only one village has a 4th big house, and that is the taiga. I'm just gonna give it 1 point. It looks fine. Definitely only deserves 1 point. Actually, this thing's kind of bad. All right, so now we're moving on to the little houses. I do not think that these deserve 5 points on their own. So I decided to take my top 2 favorites and give them 1 point for my second favorite and 2 points for my first favorite. Also the taiga only has 6 of the small houses. I think it's fair that they only have 6 because they spawned the 4th. So yeah, I think it's balanced. My second favorite small house was the acacia. I like the color. I think it looks good. My number 1 favorite was this taiga house. I think it's just fantastic. I mean, he has a chair and a bed. This is the peak male living experience. And yeah, it's just a great house. Small house number 2, the desert. I love this awning design, and it's got a good interior. And first place is the acacia red house. This thing actually pops, and it's got a chest. I think that with like the ketchup and mustard design, I just think that it just looks great, and I love it. Second place in the third small house, we have the desert. I love the buttons, and I love the interior. Also, it's got a dead bush. First place is the A-frame snowy cabin. I think it looks great. It's a little small. It looks like an A-frame cabin. And I just think that that's hilarious and great, and I love it. Small house number 4, desert number 2. Competition on this one wasn't pretty stiff, so I gave it to the one with the chest. Clear number 1 winner was the acacia. I mean, look at those banners. The interior's also got a chest. It's got 2 entrances for some reason, and it looks great. So this one wins. Small house number 5, number 2 spot, the plains. This one is probably one of my favorite small houses. It has a balcony on the top, and it has carpet on the bottom. This is more of a medium house, honestly. However, it got easily destroyed by the acacia house. It looks phenomenal from the outside, and it absolutely just solos. If all the acacia houses look like this, it'd be my favorite village, like, easily. Small house number 6, number 2 spot, the snowy. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's got a chimney and a chest, and I like the exterior A-frame design with the chimney appearing on the outside. And the number 1, I didn't realize this was a small house. I thought it was a giant house. It's the desert. This thing really stands out whenever you're trying to find a desert village. It even has a chest on the top. Like, this thing is one of the best houses in the game. It's my house number 7. Number 2 is, again, the snowy. The interior is kind of boring, but this house roof design is, it stands out. It popped to me when I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that'll do. And number 1, again, is the desert, because, I don't know, he's farming a cactus. That's hilarious. Small house number 8. Number 2, again, it's the snowy. This tiny igloo really just looks funny, and it looks good, and it's cute. And the number 1 is the plains, mostly because of this window design. This is inspirational. However, the interior is kind of mid, but this was probably the least competitive category because it didn't have much. So yeah, number 1. I also decided to rank the village centers because I think these are also structures. Some of them are more structural than others. So in 5th place, we've got this nasty taiga village center. Like, this is disgusting. Moving on to 4th place, it's the plains. I don't know, I never liked this well. I get that it's nostalgic, but I just never liked it. In 3rd place, the desert. Again, it's just a well. However, I like this one a lot more because I think the pool design just is more fun to look at. I mean, and it's got a potted cactus, which that'll push you up at least 1 spot. 2nd place, the snowy frozen well is kind of hilarious. Like, you can tell it's supposed to be water, but it's frozen, so that's funny. And in 1st place, it's the acacia. Something about like the stall designs really just sells it for me. I think these are phenomenal. I love the banners as well. I think they really add a lot. It just works well. Moving on to the 2nd village center set. In 5th place, we have the snowy. This one's kind of stubby and it's kind of not as funny, so 5th place. 4th place, it's the taiga. This is just the oak well. However, it's slightly better designed and it's got a bell. 3rd place, the desert. This one makes sense that it have a well. It's not a good well. So 2nd place, the acacia. This one is actually a pretty good well design, I think, because it's colorful, it pops, and it's got banners. And a very easy number 1 goes to the plains. I'm just a sucker for a good stall design, and this is a really good stall design, so this one wins pretty easily. The taiga stops having wells after this one, however, the rest of them continue, so they'll again just get 4, 3, 2, and 1 points. And in 4th place, the plains. This is just a tree, guys. It's not that deep. 3rd place, the taiga pagoda. I don't know if it's a pagoda, a gazebo, or what, but I can tell you what it is, and that is mid. 2nd place, it's the acacia. I mean, like, it's fine. It's 2 watering holes instead of 1. I imagine one's for dirty water and one's for clean water. Yeah. And moving on, of course, the stalls one, it's the desert. This is actually a good well design as well because it's simple and it actually makes sense because it's right next to stalls. So, a well done right. I'd say, it's well done. Now, the acacia has a 4th design, and none of the others do. It's mid, so I'm just going to give it 1 point. And that concludes our ranking. So, let's tally them up, and let's see the final scores. All right, so I just spent about 20 minutes counting all of the point totals. And drumroll, please, in last place, we have taiga. Now, this one kind of surprised me originally. However, the lack of stone bricks used and a lack of inspired designs all makes the houses kind of look the same. Furthermore, the lack of good village centers ultimately led to their downfall. In 4th place, we have the acacia. The acacia is a huge missed opportunity. All of the roofs of the houses really look not the best, and that definitely detracted from the final point total. Moving on to 3rd place, we actually had the desert. This one kind of didn't surprise me. I maybe thought that it was going to be last place because I don't know, I felt like I placed it in last place a lot. However, it's definitely iconic and it's definitely deserving of its 3rd place spot. And this has never happened before. Plains and snowy tied for 1st place. So, honestly, I think there's something to be said about that. Villages really are subjective. It's pretty heavily agreed that acacias are not the best. However, they're all beautiful in their own way. And honestly, the point of Minecraft is not to steal a villager's house and make it your own. Instead, Mojang really wants us to build our own things, make our own houses, and to follow our own dreams. Villagers are a great way to help achieve that dream. However, the answer is not stealing a house. And with that, as all good things, this video comes to its end. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.